Good morning, YouTube. Sean Wayman here with RB Bass. I'm out in the garage, sitting at my workstation. Thought we'd give you a little report. Let me pause this. Lake Berryessa. I've been up there a couple times in the last few weeks. The bite's been pretty good. The lake is kind of in transition. I like it a little colder. The temps right now are around low 60s. I prefer it to get down into the mid to low 50s, but that lake cools much slower than most of our other bodies of water here in Northern California. Anyway, the bite's been pretty decent. You got to keep moving. I haven't been able to sit on one spot and catch them. My best bite has been on an underspin. I'm throwing it on a Dial-Wazillion 7-foot heavy rod with a Tatula SV 7.3 to 1. Keeping it on the bottom, bumping bottom. Vary the retrieve a little bit. I was throwing it on 14-pound sniper fluorocarbon, but with a 7-foot rod I was missing a few bites. I'm making long casts and I just wasn't getting the hook in some of them. What is important to me when fishing underspins is the hook, mostly the size. You got to match the hook to the bait you're fishing. The other one I really like is the cool baits, but you can see the hook's smaller in the cool baits. This one I like for the 3.3s. I'll even go up to 3.8. This is a Santone Lure Z-Spin designed by Chris Zaldane. You can get these at monsterfishingtackle.com. Go on the site rbbassfishing.net. There's a link there at the bottom. Click on that, it'll take you right to it. I really like this Santone Z-Spin, it's called. It's got a great swivel. This wire can be bent to get it closer or further away from the bait. You don't want it too close because then it won't spin, it'll hit the bait. Anyway, this is a great, it's kind of one of my favorites at this point. Nice stout hook. That's a 3/8. I've been fishing anywhere from 1/4 to 3/8 on my heads. Depth has been from the bank out to 40 feet. Fishing the rainbow shad. That's a 3.3 Ghost Rainbow. And then the Pro Blue Shiner. These are all new packs. The stuff's in my boat. I'm not going to dig it out. I just went to straight braid on that rod. Honestly, the rod's probably a little too short for what I'm doing. With the long cast, sometimes it's hard to get a hook in them. Most of them I am, but occasionally I'm missing them. So I ran straight braid on that one. I have another one rigged with braid to fluorocarbon. J-braid X4, 20-pound to a leader. I really prefer the X8. It casts much better. This stuff is really, really nice. Even in the high vis yellow, no problem catching fish. I always tie a leader with the yellow. The green, dark green, I can barely see it myself, so I doubt the fish can. So yeah, anywhere from 1/4 to 3/8. I do want to mention the Blade Runner underspin. These are awesome underspins. I'm not a fan on the smaller baits, but once you get up in the 4.3 and up range, these are phenomenal. Again, it has to do with the length of the hook from the head to the back of the hook. The bait swims better if you have the appropriate size hook in it, in my opinion. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just running points. Very simple, run points. Most bites, or the better bites, seem to be coming when casting across the point. You just need to experiment, figure out which side they want it moving from, and then you can just run them and do it over and over and over. Haven't caught any giants. The last fish of the last trip was probably a 4 to 5 pound spot. It jumped through my bait. That's fishing. Anyway, we'll make some adjustments. The other thing they're eating, LB 500s, the 150 also. Yo-yoing if you find grass. They'll eat them on the points too. You can run shallower banks, flats. You can fish them on the bottom. They're eating them both ways. Hopefully we get a shad die off here pretty soon and things will fire up. Look for the birds. We got on one point where the birds had kind of corralled some bait up there, and that one we caught multiple fish on. Most of the time we were moving. You get a couple bites and you got to move on. A couple bites, move on. When the birds are there and they got the bait pinned up, well, that can be different. Let's see, what else do we got? The old chatterbait. Very retrieve. Obviously, I'm fishing the chatterbait in shallower water. The fish are all over the place. They're probably from the bank down to 60 feet. Like I said, it's fall, it's transition time, and they're just all over. You can catch them on probably pretty much whatever you want. I would bet you can get some topwater fish as well. I haven't been doing it, but I bet you could. Square bills, blade baits. I'm sure you can throw Senkos. The gold blades have been better for me lately. You can make underspins. You can put them on Senkos. They seem to want moving baits more than sitting still, so I just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Chunk and wind. Vary your retrieves. Find out what's working best that day. For me, it's been bouncing bottom. Every once in a while, I'll kill it, shake it a little bit, and then start the retrieve again. But again, it's always been on the bottom. All of this stuff can be bought at monsterfishingtackle.com. The Blade Runner, the Santone Z-Spin. Don't buy any until I buy the rest of them out, though, okay? Because stock can be an issue sometimes. And the cool baits. Cool bait, these are really good heads, high quality. They have the smaller hook. I got some different colors here. That's the blue silver. The first one was snow white. I've been throwing this one a lot. Old Faithful. And that's what I got. The Bastrix one, I believe, is, let's see, black shad. Got the black on the top. The Santone, it's just white. It's called Precious. And I also use, this one's big and the blade's not on it, but it's I believe that's the fish head spin. At Berryessa, I typically rarely go over the 1/4 ounce size of the fish head spin. It's just my preference. I seem to not get as many bites with the bigger one. Probably mostly because I'm fishing that smaller bait. And like I said, I think it matters to match the hook to the bait size you're throwing. The jig bite should be kicking off pretty soon, but honestly, and I'm a jig fishing nut, they've been eating the underspin so well, I just don't see a need to throw anything else right now. I'm sure they're eating an A-rig. I rigged it up for my next trip. It's just a Flash Mob Junior with blades. This is a Daiwa, awesome rod, by the way. It's a Daiwa A-rig rod. What do they call this one? The Kage, Kage. It's 7'9", medium heavy, 1 to 4 ounce. Medium heavy reaction bait. It's just a phenomenal rod. It's got the longer butt. You can see I keep the plastic on it. But it's got the longer butt handle for the casting. On there I've got the Daiwa Tatula 7.3 to 1 bait caster. And I'm pretty sure this is probably 15-pound big game. The big game's strong, it casts well, I really like it. Don't feel a need for anything more at Berryessa. If I was at Clear Lake, I don't know, 15's still pretty strong. What else do we got? When the jig bite does, or when I do start throwing it, I picked up some trailers. I went and visited my mother last week, and so I just went to the local Bass Pro just to kill some time while my wife and my mom were off shopping in another store. And yeah, I can't open the pack. Oh, that's why. For some reason, sometimes purple seems to be hard to find, or PB&J, which I really like at Clear Lake and Berryessa. This is the Yum Crop Happy. Smells like plastic. But that is a great color trailer for both Berryessa and Clear Lake. I'll throw it on a brown and purple round rubber jig of your choice. This time of year I tend to trim them up a little bit and trim the weed guard down. If I don't cut the weed guard all the way off, to be honest with you, there's just not much grass out there, and I like the hook exposed for those light biters. Anyway, that's about what I got for Berryessa. The weather's been far too good recently. We are getting some cooler temperatures at night, but we really need some rain to get our reservoirs up and really get the fish going if we get the lake level rising. Anyway, get out there and fish, and we'll see you soon here on rbbassfishing.net.